Good morning. Today is Tuesday the 16th of January 2024 and I'm going to go through my pre-market plan for today. Hopefully had a nice long weekend with yesterday closed. Even though the futures market were open, there was no real volume, as you can see down here, hardly any volume at all, so I didn't take part. I took the day off, even though there was no bank holiday here in the UK. Nice to have some time off anyway. So yesterday, that's yesterday's volume. Oh no, sorry, where were we? Yesterday's 15. This is yesterday's volume, so barely anything and probably not worth trading. Anyway, we've got some levels. There's no amazing levels today, but we've got a few areas we can watch. Before we start, we look at any news for today. We've got a Fed speaking at 11 and bill auctions at 11:30, so be a bit wary about 11. We may see a bit of market movement. At 8:30 we had a data drop, manufacturing index. What happened at 8:30 today? 8:30. Okay, we had a bit of a green push, one of these green bars. Doesn't really show it on the hourly, but in the 5 minute we had a bit of a push up to the VWAP. So anyway, first place I'm watching for is a break and retest of the pre-market high. So I want to see it push up, come back, retest that area for the push up. And the same for the pre-market low. I want to see it come down, come back, probably retest the 200 moving average, which is starting to curve upwards. And then for the rejection down, but this will be a higher risk reject, but a higher probability break and retest long. The reason I say higher probability, let's just zoom in a bit. The reason I say higher probability is because the higher time frames are still in an uptrend. So I'm kind of watching this level here, which is 4804, 4805 for a break and retest. Look at break and retest long. I'm wary of the curve in over 50 moving average, so we'll be looking to take that and just keep my stop quite tight for that trade. Another reject area, another reject area. I was watching. In fact, let's go with the bounces first. So that's the first long to watch for. Pre-market high. I quite like a double bottom coming down to here. If we come back into this area, I know I said look for the break and retest short, but I'm also watching for a bounce back up. And we've got the 200 moving average coming in as well. But ideally, if we get down to that pivot, we could potentially watch for a small scalp or a bounce as well, and that is Thursday's lows. And the main bounce I'm still waiting for, one I've been watching, and I've mentioned it for last week now, is the bounce off of this area. We've got an area of demand down here as well, so it gets into 47.70. I'll be looking to go long as well. So that's the area to look to go long. If we are in if we are selling off, and we've got potential target there, so if we capture some shorts coming down, then hopefully we can use the same bounce areas as targets. And for rejections, there's not a great deal, unfortunately. The only thing I can think of, the only thing I can see really, is the rejection off of Friday, this area here, 48.23 to 24 area, and then a rejection off the all-time highs, 48.38. No, that's the only things I can see. But remember the trend on the daily. Let's go to the daily for a second. We're still in an uptrend, and SPY is still yet to make an all-time high. So SPY, we could see another push back up. So let's look at SPY quickly. All-time high is that yellow line, so we've got unfinished business. And so potentially we could see it come back up into this area. So maybe if we are looking to go for a break and retest of MES, we want to see what SPY is doing as well, as it's heading up towards this area. We could see it potentially reject. But also if MES is strong, then it may force it up to all-time highs as well. Let's go back to the hourly. So that's it really. If we do see a massive sell-off, or maybe for this week, I'm watching this area as well for a bounce, and we've got two areas of demand, 47.20 and 4700, these areas here. And that's it. That's what I'm looking for this week. If we get down there in the next few weeks, Otherwise I'm watching for the break and retest of pre-market highs for the long move up. That's what I'm watching. Today I'm going to be focused on the pre-market high, break and retest. But remember, like I said, knowing that it's going into a bit of resistance on the left. We've got a bit of resistance, consolidate for a few days. Volume is there as well. You can see the point of control volume, this red bar. So we will be going long into a higher volume area. Otherwise, I'm watching for the bounce down here at 47.85. Okay, so let's look at SPY. Same thing really, same areas to watch. Potential bounce down here, 473 down to 472.50 area. And then we've got bounces at 470 is an area to watch. Well, that's an area I'm keen to watch. Got our point of control where we've got congested volume. Bottom of pivots here, congested area here as well. So we'll be looking for a potential bounce around that area. Rejection wise, probably, let's get rid of that one. I don't really like that one now. Oh, wrong one. Probably 477 rejection. So if we come back up into this area, I'll be looking for a rejection. And it's going to be tough to get a rejection up here because we've got all-time highs so close. So probably wait for 480, 479.98 or 480 all-time highs for a rejection. That's the only plays I can see on SPY really. Qs. Yeah, I can see that rejection at 410. Gap over here. Tops of candles. Point of control as well as that area, higher area of volume, so 410. This area here for a rejection, and then we've got a bit of volume at 411.25 and highs at 413.11. So they're the possible rejection areas. Bounce areas. The break and retest of pre-market high looks good because it's breaking above the 50 moving average, and it could retest it and push up. Looking a bit stronger than ES as well today. Nasdaq is as well. But we've got watch for the bounce off of that pivot. Higher risk, but this pivot would be the better area. 405. And then we've got this area here, which we've been watching for a few days, at 400. Or 399.32. So this is the main area to watch for. Nasdaq. Pretty much the same as Qs. Reject area at 17.026. Looks like a decent reject that would be. In fact, I quite like that because we've got tops of candles here, tops of candles, bottoms of candles, and then we came through what was still tops of candles, and then it's still the ceiling, came back down. We retested it again there, retested it there, retested it there, so it's quite a significant area, and so that's my rejection area at 17.026, 17.30 to 17.040, that area. If we push up even harder, then watching 17.120 for rejection through to 17.100, and then you've got all-time highs at 17.165. So that's the areas to watch for rejections. Bounce wise, 16.762, like on all the other ones. I quite like that area there. 16.500, 16.575. Obviously got the bottoms here. So these are the areas I'm really watching for. A bounce off of these pivots here, bounce off this pivot, potentially the curve in 200 moving average will act as another layer of support. And we've got, and it's an area of significance, we had another pivot over here as well. That's why I quite like this area. Bit of consolidating, kind of broke through, came back down, retested it again there. So that's the area of 16.762, so very similar to the others. Oil. Look at the hourly. It's just going sideways still at the moment. I'm going to move that now, so if we can break the highs, look for a break and retest with a possible target up here into the area of supply. Let's just draw in a trend line. So we've got that trend line, so we could watch for the bounce off this trend line back down to that area there, 72, to continue the move up. That's what it looks like it's doing. Let's just do something. Let's clone that. It fits those ones there. So see how I just cloned it, and 1, 2, 3 trend line, it just fits into place here as well, this area here. So this is our current trend we're watching for. So we're in the lower half of this trend line, this channel. So if we come back down and retest, we could be looking for a short breaking down. But if we come back up, we could be continuing this trend line, like so. So potential bounce off of the trend line at 72, and potential rejection up here as well at 76. One to watch. Oh, I like this already. So this has come back in today already, missed. This is exactly what I look for when I look for a rejection. It kind of came into a level we're watching where it's areas of interest over there, bottoms of candles, tops of candles, tops of candles again. Came in, tested it, point of volume, point of control as well, and bounced at the same time. Although that is quite a big candle. It's difficult. It's an indecision candle because it's smack bang in the middle, and we've got a big wick top and bottom. But potentially if we come back down to this area for a double bottom, we could look for a long. And if you wait for confirmation, that's probably too far away, and we're going long into this area of support. When I zoomed out, I didn't see that top wick. I just thought that was a bottom wick on high volume, so it looked a bit more enticing. If we can hold and close the hourly above the 200, then we can look for a long entry. Ideally, we need to get above this indecision candle. We need to get over this area. So still this area to watch for a breakout. So looking for a break and retest of that area at 20.56. And again, break below, pull back and drop. But we haven't done that today on that indecision candle. And we've got a potential reject up here, lots of volume, lots of support. So we need to break through that area to continue the trend. So that's all I'm watching for on gold. And then we've got M2K, which is the Russell 2000 index. Look at that, just running along the trend lines I drew. These are from, I put these trend lines in last week, Thursday, Friday I think, just to map out that side and that side. And it's showing significance on here. We came back up, touched that trend line, came down, and look at this low in trend line. We're just running along it. So I'll keep that in place for now. We're in a bounce area as well, so there's a potential bounce right now. Next bounce area would be the low at 1938, but potential bounce off of the trend line 1946. So if we were to, this is in a bit of a downtrend, so going with a trend, you want to wait for the breakdown below this trend line and the retest of this area, be that pivot, or the retest of that pivot for a short. And I still like the break above that area for a long, above 2001. Maybe a higher risk break above 1966 to 1970. So if we could break above there, but we are going long. We've got to get over this 200 really. So a short-term scalp while we're below the 200 on the hourly. But if we get over that hourly pivot, look for the break and retest of this area again for the push up. That's all I'll be watching for on that. And then we've got the last one, which is the Dow Jones. These are a lot more slower moving futures. So still quite like the bounce down here. 37,500 for the bounce. Let's just put my and again looking for the break and retest of pre-market high and a point of control like we are on the MES. So if we can get over this area here, which is 37,750, preferably we get over the 200. So along above 37,777, 37,777. You should remember that. That's the area to watch for the long, and that's the pre-market high as well. And we want to be over, we want to be closing on the hourly above the 200 as well. But just notice that it is curving round the 200, and we may be signifying a bit of a change of trend. But we're in a sideways trend right now, so play the channel, get down to here long, up to here short, and we'll just keep playing it until it plays itself out. Okay, and that's it. And just a quick look at Bitcoin as well. We had that big push up on news of the ETF up to here, up to 49,000. And we're back down to this consolidation area we've been watching for a few days now. So let's see what it looks like on the daily. So we're kind of in that area. We rejected it. I did have an alert and I draw some trend lines in there. We've got this area as well. So 47.63 was the next area to watch for a rejection. And we've got this little channel it's setting up. So potential channel, we'll see what's going to happen. It might just play along that channel for a bit. I've got an alert set. If it breaks below 4,000, then we can look for the break and retest back down to the 200. And then we've got this. Let's go back to the straight line again. That's quite. And then we've got this area here for potential bounce. And I'll be looking to add to my Bitcoin if we come back down to that area. I don't have much, just a little tiny bit. Just a little tiny bit I'm putting away each month. I think that's it. Let's have a quick look at MES, see if there's been any changes in the last few minutes. No, our break and retest of the pre-market high is looking good now. Time is it? We've got 10 minutes before market opens. So we're watching for this area here for break and retest long. Bear in mind, we're going long into the 200, curving over 50 moving average. So we want to just break up, retest, and push long. We've got first target, which is our rejection point of 48.23. Second target 48.38. All-time highs will be a little bit above that of 48.41.50. We'll see how we get. We might be just putting in a double bottom. Also watch for a double bottom coming into this area, or a slightly higher double. So you've got the low, higher high, higher low. What we could be watching for. And then the break above that area could be the break and retest long. So maybe I'm looking for a smaller entry round here and continuation above here if we can get over it. So that's my plan for today. Favouring the uptrend purely because the longer time frames in an uptrend. And like I said, SPY's got unfinished business, getting to the all-time highs. All of its buddies have got there. Nasdaq, Qs, MES. But poor SPY's been left behind, so he's gagging to get up there. So we'll keep an eye on that. Okay, I think that's it really. Have a good day trading.